don't you ever bail out your opponent. And I'll explain exactly what I mean by that. But before we get into it, I want to say a quick thank you to Winston Du for letting me use this video. Check out his channel for some awesome tennis content, and I'll post a link to his channel in the description area. So let's check out this point real quick. And here's Winston on the far end and Amy, who is a WTA professional, on the near end here. So let's check out this point. And so what exactly is a bailout? And it's exactly how I mean. It's when your opponent here, and in this case Amy, is bailed out by Winston with a very, very bad shot at the end. And this was actually a very good point until Winston blew it. And I call these bailouts because you're in complete control and you just hand the point back to your opponent. And it's not really a problem with technique. It's not a problem with, the situation there. It's a problem with just decision making. And I know exactly why this happened. So here's Winston here doing this backhand. Again, this is midpoint, a great point. And Amy hits this slice short and slow. And I talked about this type of shot where I think it's the worst shot in singles tennis, when you hit something, a backhand up the line short and slow. And Winston took advantage of this, right? He ripped this forehand up to the backhand, and now super defensive is Amy. And so she's super defensive now, and now Winston has all the shot options in the world, and he chooses this like bunt slice. I don't know if he was trying to fake a drop shot or do something else with this, but it was obviously not a good shot. It's a bailout. It just bailed out Amy here. And of course, anyone's going to rip this shot, right? Amy has a really good backhand. And now Winston's completely defensive at net and just can't reach for that passing shot there. So this is what I call bailouts. A shot where, it wasn't even a bad bounce, right? It wasn't a bad bounce. It wasn't anything that was weird. Winston didn't trip over his feet, right? It was just something that he chose in that situation where he chose the worst shot imaginable. And I know exactly why he chose this shot. And so Winston chose this shot simply because he was not committed. So basically, when you have all options on the table, right, you could hammer this ball to the backhand side of Amy. You could go up straight to the open court. You could do a drop shot, cross court there, drop shot, inside out, drop shot to the center, hammer it to the center. There are a million options, and most of those options are a very good option, right? You have to commit to one thing though, right? There's so many choices out there. It's like going to the grocery store. You see all these toothpaste brands, and you don't know which one to choose because they all look pretty good and they all have coupons and all that stuff, right? So you got to commit to one thing, and I believe that's what happened. I don't know what's going on in Winston's head, right? But, that's how I think what happened, because I've seen this a lot. I've seen this many, many times in recreational tennis where you have all options in the world, but you choose the worst possible thing because you can't make up your mind and you have to do something at the very last moment. And the very last moment was pretty much this. Like, maybe he was thinking about a drop shot, and then he went with a fake drop shot, and then there's no more time, so he had to do something, just hit the ball, right? So if you lack commitment in these short balls, this is what's going to happen. So what I advise all my players who I coach, or anybody who wants to take care and really win this point when the point is in their hands, right, is to choose one thing, and one thing right now. You're going to get short balls like this, right? So choose what you want to do right now. So for me right now, if I ever get this ball, I would choose to just hammer this straight up to Amy's backhand. I'm not the type of person that really approaches to the forehand side, but if I do, and that would be maybe my second option, is to really hammer it very hard to the cross court area there. You know, I would only probably go with a drop shot if I really feel like it, if I really feel that Amy is really behind the baseline and she has no clue that I'm going to drop shot, then maybe yes, I'll go with a forehand drop shot. But you know, my first primary option, if I really want to win the point, is that to hit it hard to Amy's backhand, and I will let Amy hit a very hard backhand pass, and I would live with that. I would totally live with that if she actually passes me down the line or cross court. You know, I'd live with that because I've chosen what I want, and I could handle it. I'll be prepared for that volley. So choose what you want to do, and that's how you don't bail out your opponent, right? You choose exactly what you want to do and commit to it, and you will win that point. If you enjoyed this video, kindly do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.